Yo, what's going down, everybody? It is straight out of Boston here, aka the King of Boston, and today we're back with episode 27 of the Detroit Pistons Association on NBA 2K13, and today we're back with Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals. Now, if you guys have missed the last episode or two, I'll do a quick little recap of what's happened in the playoffs so far. So we came into the playoffs as the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. We faced off against the number 7 seeded Brooklyn Nets, and we ended up sweeping them 4-0. I simulated the first 3 games, we went up 3-0, and then I played the first elimination game, and I ended up winning it. So then we moved on to play in the Eastern Conference Semifinals against the Chicago Bulls, as you can see right here. Simulated the first 5 games. Turned out that we were down 3-2, and if you guys don't know how I'm doing this, I'm only playing elimination games. So the first elimination game was when we went down 3-2. I came back in Game 6, ended up getting the win. Crazy game. You guys should definitely check it out if you haven't seen it already. It's in the playlist. I'm sure it'll be in the related videos, and maybe I'll leave a link in the description. So now we're in Game 7, and this is in Detroit. Number 2 seeded Detroit Pistons up against the number 3 seeded Chicago Bulls. Division rivals. Battle of 2 really good point guards and 2 really good centers too, in Dwight Howard and Joakim Noah. Just really good overall matchup. 2 very similar players, Nicholas Batum and Luol Deng. They're both kind of long, lanky, small forwards who are great defenders. You know, I don't know, there's just, you know, a lot of similarities between these teams. Good finesse power forwards in Greg Monroe and Carlos Boozer. Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of similarities between these teams, and such. The only real major difference in the starting lineup I see is the fact that Rip Hamilton's a really good scorer, Iman Shumpert's a much better defender than he is a scorer, so they're kind of the opposites in that sense. But also, you can't compare, at least in real life, you can't compare Brandon Knight to Derrick Rose, but in this association, Brandon Knight's been sensational. So anyway, let's just get right into this. So you can see here, we're up 10-4. Derrick Rose, though, when he sees Brandon Knight is on him, he's going to take him to the hoop almost every time. Iman Shumpert did a really good job of neutralizing Derrick Rose a lot in the games that I played. But when Rose realized that he had someone not named Iman Shumpert or Nicholas Batum on him, he would oftentimes try to take him to the rim. You know, guys like Shabazz Muhammad and or Brandon Knight, guys like that. So anyway, Rose really did have a lot of success in the series when Shumpert wasn't in the game or something like that. But anyway, now Knight with the ball, he's going to look, he's going to find Nicholas Batum, who's going to make this 3. Really nice to see Batum. He had a good game today. He's going to get himself going quickly, which is good. You're going to see he has the ball ISO situation on Deng. Going to cross him up and get into the lane for the easy dunk. Really nice to see it at Batum. We definitely need him to fill the void that was left by trading away Rodney Stuckey. Stuckey was pretty much our main scorer in the starting lineup, quite frankly, and now that he's gone, we still need that guy who can create his own shot. And Batum, I really wanted Batum to be that guy. He hasn't been too consistent at doing it so far, but hopefully we're going to need him for today. We're going to need him, you know, if we do advance past today's game or whatever, because if we do lose, we're going right into the offseason on Friday or whatever. But anyway, Cody Zeller with the up and the under, not the under, but he goes up and then gets the foul on the pump fake. He would not convert that free throw, though, but Jonas Jerebko for 3. That guy does not play very much, but when he does, he seems to shoot the lights out. Very good, you know, stretch 4. I don't really know if he plays the 5 at all in real life, but he's great stretch 4 for us. And, you know, I love him on our team. He developed a little bit. I was originally not going to keep him after year 1, but he developed a little bit, ended up with a bit of trade value, and it's like a 67 or 68 overall. So I decided to keep him. And like I said, he plays spot minutes, but when he plays, he is something special. But Nicholas Batum with the crazy fadeaway right there, the little buzzer beater, that was really nice to see out of Batum. Like I said, I need Batum to be the guy who can create his own shot. You know, give him the ball, you know, tell him to just find a way to get 2 points. That's what I needed at Batum. I could do that with Rodney Stuckey. I haven't really been too consistent at doing it with Batum yet, but there, again, Batum with a nice layup. And now Rose going to Boozer in the post. Boozer is going to end up giving it to Hamilton. And Hamilton does what he does so well and scores the ball. Hamilton, a really good scorer. I think he really fits in with what Chicago needs. Him and Marco Bellinelli both. They really needed the shooting guard after the 2011 season. So before 2012, they ended up signing Rip Hamilton. He was very banged up for most of 2012. But when he was healthy, he was very good. And he's been very good this year for what they need him to be. And that's just a spot scorer. Good shooter. Guy can kind of still create his own shot. Not too much. He was really more of a spot-up shooter when he was in Detroit. But he still can create his own shot a little bit. Also, I want to apologize if, you know, sometimes, like, there's little kind of cutoffs in my commentary or something, like, because I don't know why, but Sony Vegas has been really messing up. I think I'm going to start recording my commentaries, at least a few of them in Audacity, maybe starting, like, tomorrow or something, but we'll see. I don't know. I just wish Sony Vegas would fix itself. I might try to reinstall Sony Vegas or something. We'll see. Anyway, now, Cody Zeller is going to get the nice layup to go there, as you'll see right now. So we are up by 9 at this point, and just trying to maintain a lead. we got out to a lead early, and we don't want to let the Bulls hang around. It's much easier being at home, because if you do let a team hang around and they're the home team, if they can just string together a few baskets, they can kind of get the crowd into it, get some momentum going. Luckily for us, we are playing in Detroit, so, you know, that definitely favors us, especially in a Game 7 when momentum is so huge. But anyway, Rip Hamilton is going to get the nice layup to go off the goaltending call there. And look at Rip Hamilton's face mask, man, that thing. So funny. Not really funny, I just think it's kind of neat. But anyway, Batum with the ball, trying to go to work on Luol Deng. He's going to end up dishing it down low to Greg Monroe. And Greg Monroe was incredible touch around the basket. Him and Dwight Howard both have the finisher signature skill. And Greg Monroe actually has hustle points, which gives him a bunch of attribute boosts after he gets an offensive rebound. So both of them are incredible around the rim. They're so good for this team. And obviously Howard's very good defensively. And Monroe's not too bad himself. He's a good shot blocker and actually has good hands too. He can get a steal or two a game sometimes. But anyway, so Pistons are now up by 7. Greg Monroe with the ball, trying to go to work on Joakim Noah. Is going to give it to Howard. Is going to give it right back to Monroe. Great touch on the passes from both big men. I really feel like I have a good pair of passing big men with these guys. Howard not so much, but Greg Monroe in real life is averaging about 3 assists a game, I do believe. And it does seem like he really has a good passing ability for a big man, probably one of the better passing big men in the NBA. And then, you know, Howard doesn't really put up the stats passing-wise, but yeah, he's really good. When he was in Orlando, those Magic teams were built to play inside out, so they surrounded them with like Rashard Lewis, Hedo Turkoglu, Jameer Nelson. I can't remember who played shooting guard for those teams. It doesn't ring a bell. But what they would often do is give Howard the ball in the post, and if he got doubled or something, that would leave one of their 4 3-point shooters wide open on the perimeter. So Howard doesn't always put up the stats, especially not in this association, but he is actually a pretty good passer for a big man. And I've kind of built that team in a similar way. Knight, Shumpert, and Batum are all exceptional 3-point shooters, and even Greg Monroe can hit a mid-range shot. So, but that usually doesn't happen. What usually happens is Howard gets doubled as Brandon Knight's guy, and Brandon Knight is one of the best 3-point shooters in this association. So anyway, Batum gets the nice buzzer beater there, and we're going to go into the third quarter on top by 12 points, trying to put the Chicago Bulls team away. Now it's 10, Kirk Heinrich with the ball, who's done a fantastic job filling in for D Rose this year. But D Rose, like I said earlier, with Muhammad on him, is going to take him every time. That time he pulls up and hits the nice mid-range shot. So we're going to try and go back to Howard in the post. He's going to dish it off to Muhammad, who's going to get the nice up and under to go there. So I really, at some point in this game, I realized, and I'll point it out later when the actual stat comes up through the bottom line. But at some point in this game, I realized that I had to go to my bigs if I wanted to close this game out. But there you see Shabazz Muhammad with a nice duck. I really need to get him going. Boozer now to Deng. Deng running the fast break. Deng's going to make the nice bounce pass to Hamilton, and Hamilton's going to get that one to go. So anyway, 84-78 now. Trying to figure out what we're going to do to try and get this offense going. Monroe to Knight. Knight for 3. Knight is cash from 3. 14 points. I think 12 of those were off of 3s at this point. Really good so far. Muhammad running the pick and roll with Dwight Howard. Howard's going to get the ball and hit the tough contact layup there. And that's where it was. When I realized that he was 7 of 7 from the field, I decided I needed to go to Dwight Howard and Greg Monroe. Howard gets doubled. I dish it off to Brandon Knight, like I said earlier, playing inside out. And that's even what the Miami Heat have done a little bit. They kind of play the play in the way that when LeBron and D-Wade drive and they get doubled. You can see there again, Brandon Knight for 3. But when LeBron and D-Wade get doubled, they oftentimes will dish it off to Mike Miller, Ray Allen, or Mario Chalmers, or something like that, and or even Shane Battier. So, you know, we've really built that team in a similar way. But now 100-89. The score would stay like this for a while. He sees 191 now, 30 seconds left. He drives in. He's going to get the and one layup. So after he converts this free throw, the Bulls would cut the lead to 6. However, Brandon Knight would get fouled, and he's going to make both of his free throws. So 102-94, and the Bulls would not be able to get anything going after that. As you can see, Rose is going to throw up the prayer, but it does not matter because they're down by 8, and even if that went in, that wouldn't have mattered. So anyway, the Detroit Pistons are going to go home victorious with a Game 7 victory. We are moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm not going to, as usual, I'm not going to spoil who we are playing, although there probably is a way you can figure it out if you're paying close attention in the video. But anyway, you can see the team stats here. We really dominated them in a lot of categories. This game really made me feel confident about this team, that we can really dominate a team on Hall of Fame difficulty, which is something that I don't think we've done really at all in this series. But anyway, you can see Dwight Howard with a huge game, 17-10, 5 assists, 2 blocks on 8 of 9 shooting. That was really impressive. And then Knight and Batum are both in the 20s for points. So very good games by the guys that we really need to lead this team if we're going to continue to have success throughout the playoffs. And you can see the stats there by the Bulls. Derrick Rose did not have a good game because, you know, Amon Shumpert really did a good job neutralizing him. But anyway, this is going to wrap up this video. So I thank you guys for watching. Hope you did enjoy. And Joe's out. Peace.